Welcome to Community Connections with Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County. I'm just one of your hosts, Sean Boyle, with me is
Ashley Mock.
And just so you know, this is a weekly radio program, but also thanks to a wonderful partnership with WLX TV, it's a monthly TV show where we talk about what resources and things that are available for children and families in St. Lucie County. Now we, despite laughing through our radio and TV show, what we do for our community at the Children's Services Council is 5 things. And those 5 things are: 1, make sure every baby's a healthy baby. 2, stop child abuse before it happens. 3, keep kids off the streets. 4, keep them in school. And 5, keep them off drugs, alcohol, and other risky behaviors by offering programs and resources for all families in our community.
I was just counting with you.
You know, what the viewers don't see and the radio listeners don't hear is the pre-conversation that happens before we go live.
Intense.
And apparently it was very funny.
It was very funny. That's what happens. That's okay. You're a comedian. That's what we'll tell people. I don't know.
I'm just going to let her dig her way out of this on TV.
That's right. So Sean talks about our priority areas. There's a couple different ways where you can learn more about our programs that do the work in those areas. And obviously one of them is to watch and listen to this show. But we also have a website that has a lot of information on it about contact information for all of our programs, success stories from families who have participated in those programs, along with contact information for each one of them. So if there's a program that you are looking for, or you have a conversation with someone at church or at work and they have a need, you can be the resource and direct them to our website or share the number with them and get them the help that they need right there.
And while you mention our website, we should also say that we are very active on social media.
Yes.
And I can concretely say that because we have actually realized that our Twitter account, in order to make it effective, we actually have to tweet every once in a while.
We have been doing a good job.
So we're starting to do that. We're also on LinkedIn, Instagram, but of course, just like you, we really are on Facebook all the time.
We're in all the places, and we really are trying to make sure that the information that we're sharing in each one of those places is the information that you guys are looking for, that our residents are looking for. So if there's something that you have a question about or something that you would like to see, please send us a message on any one of those platforms and let us know. We monitor that all the time. We get a lot of questions on Facebook from families that are looking for programs or looking for resources. So it is absolutely a great way to stay in touch with us, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
So the point of this show, besides to laugh at each other,
Right.
is to connect you, the listener and or viewer, to resources. So as you mentioned on our website, we have all the resources. But if you're old school and you're like, Sean, I'm not going on the website, I'm not even on social media.
That's okay.
And our first question is, who are you? But our answer to that is we actually have a paper guide that people can pick up.
We do, and these have actually become very popular. We've condensed and condensed and condensed it over the years. But this version of our family guide, we have printed probably about 25,000 of this particular one. It is a new year for us. October 1st is the start of our new fiscal year. So we do have some changes to make. There are some new programs that need to be added to this. So new versions of this will be coming out, but this is a great resource to have on hand. We've recently shared it with the administration teams at several schools. They love to have it to direct families to a place where they can get all of the information at once. I actually had a guardian ad litem volunteer come into the office the other day, and she asked a question about what it was that we did. She was attending a training in our room, but she wanted to know more.
And I
gave her a bunch of these to share with all of her volunteers. She was really excited about it because she had relocated to St. Lucie County. So she was very familiar with what programs and resources were available in her home state of New York, but not how to access those same services here. So this is a great guide to do all of those things and make sure that you've got information about all of the programs that are available.
If you want to be the hero at your place of work, your civic group, your place of faith, by all means, just call us at 408-1100. One of a handful of people will easily run and bring these out to you.
Somebody will do that. Just a real quick tip I want to share. I'm going to steal this from you. We, as part of a participation on the Safe Kids St. Lucie, Safe Kids Treasure Coast committee, one of the things that they're talking about this month is safety on Halloween. And they've shared some information which we are going to make available on our social media. But I just wanted to share this fact that's in this flyer from Safe Kids Worldwide. kids are more than twice as likely to be hit by a car and killed on Halloween than any other day of the year.
Wow.
Is that crazy?
Well, think about it. They go out
Right.
at night. They're wearing costumes. Not all of
Right.
them are brightly lit, if you will. I could see that. It's scary.
It is a scary statistic. So a lot of what is shared in this article that we'll repost is making sure that your kids are visible, that they have flashlights, that they have reflectors or wristbands or something that is bright, so that we don't have any accidents in our community on Halloween.
Very good tip. And also, I want to mention if you have trick-or-treaters, not all trick-or-treaters are
Yes.
vocal and are going to say trick or treat. Some of them are scared to be up there. Some of
Yep.
them may be autistic. By all means, if they're up there, I know everybody wants the, oh, what are you and who are you? But if they don't respond, they're not being upset or mean. They're just being a child. And
Yes.
make sure that you treat them accordingly.
Definitely.
I will say before we went on the air, this is a total side note and totally not in our script. Way back when, I used to produce a show here with it was Andrew Resignado from Kid Care.
Yeah.
He had a TV show, and for our Halloween episode, we actually wore masks.
That's a little scary. I'm not
And
gonna lie.
so, did you bring any masks
I
for
did
us
not.
to wear?
I did not.
This is the mask.
I'm sorry, no masks here. We'll have to prepare that for next time.
So let's skip over Halloween to go right towards Christmas.
I like it.
Because if
Wow.
you've been to Walmart lately, they already have their trees up and Christmas music playing.
I'm a little hurt by that because Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, mostly because I like food. But I
Well-
love Christmas, but I love Thanksgiving.
Because of the food, but
Right.
name me one Thanksgiving song that you'll play. All right, so
Okay.
moving on. So,
All right, point taken.
well, you are going to hear lots of songs and a lot of festivities and a lot of great things to get you in the Christmas and holiday spirit with we believe it's our 8th, maybe 9th annual Sounds of the Season holiday concert.
We're good at counting.
We're not very good at counting. But on December 20th, we have many of our after-school programs are going to take the stage at the Sunrise Theater to entertain our community. I mean, we ask our community to come out to support the kids, support the effort, and to get into the holiday spirit. But it's a free concert on December 20th at the Sunrise Theater. It's called Sounds of the Season.
It really is so much fun, and we always get a great turnout, great support from the community. We love going backstage to talk to the kids before the show because they're all super nervous, and I think you and I have shared this out in the community, but it's such a wonderful opportunity for those kids to get the chance to perform on stage at the historic Sunrise Theater. And they love it. They're all excited about it. We love being backstage with them because they're so funny. But Sean and I host the show, so you can see more of these antics in person if you come to the show.
We won't be wearing Halloween masks, just to clarify.
No masks that day. But we should have tickets available the early part of November, so definitely stay tuned to the show and our social media. We'll make sure that you guys know when they are available.
And we will, of course, as we have the last couple of years, coordinate. And we should say the Sounds of the Season concert is brought to you not only by the Children's Services Council, but also the Lighthouse Foundation, WFLM, who hosts this radio program, as well as the Sunrise Theater.
Yes.
But we will also do a book drive for the
Yeah.
concert. So if you attend the concert and you're able to, make sure you bring a new or gently used children's book, and we will make sure that those get out into the community to our over 70 little libraries, if not into the hands directly of somebody that needs books.
Yes, lots of fun.
And so the other thing that we have, and we went Halloween
I did.
to Christmas, or
You're gonna
the
go
holidays,
backwards now?
but I'm going to go backwards to your favorite holiday.
Not for this reason, but
Well, it's total justification of why you can eat as much as you want on
That's
Thanksgiving if you participate in this.
yes, that's true. So one of our funded programs, Hands of St. Lucie, is the benefactor of the Turkey Trot at Tradition. So this year on Thanksgiving Day, which is November 28th, you can run or walk or jog or
Dance?
skateboard maybe, I don't know.
Really?
You can't. We're done with
One
that.
broken elbow skateboarding as an adult, and all of a sudden I can't skateboard.
So on Thanksgiving morning, you can participate in this 5K. All the proceeds for the race go to benefit our Hands Clinic here in St. Lucie County, which is a great cause. Information about the race and sign up is available at turkeytrottradition.com.
Are you going to do it? You and your family?
I have
you
roped
convinced them?
several members of my family into doing it.
I haven't
yes.
broke it to my family yet to see if they'll want to do it.
No,
I'm not going by myself.
you should just sign them up and put them in the car and not tell them.
Yeah, my
Just
kids
show
are
up.
older than that. I can't get away with that.
Oh, I can do that to my kids.
So it's funny, we have this outline and we are completely not following it.
I'm shocked by
But
that.
we do have a guest
We do have a
who's
great
been
guest.
laughing along with us.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Thank
And
goodness.
she wore the appropriate colors
Halloween.
for
I know.
the
She did
show.
a good job.
It
So
was an accident.
we've got a wonderful guest today. Casey Wood is with us from New Horizons of Okeechobee and the Treasure Coast. Is that right? Your name is getting
Flip-flopped, but
Treasure Coast and
yeah.
Okeechobee.
Yes.
It's getting longer and longer.
Yes, it is.
But we have a great program that we do with New Horizons, our student assistance program, which serves probably the largest population of kids that any of our programs do.
At least every single fifth grader in our community.
It's quite a large number. But Casey's here to talk to us today about some of the things the program is doing, some of the things that are sort of hot topics, I think, for parents right now, including myself. But we're going to talk first about student assistance program. So I don't know if you want to give like a quick little overview of what that is,
Sure.
What you guys are doing in the schools.
So the meat of what we do is we provide Too Good for Drugs to every fifth grade student in the public schools in St. Lucie County. And that's a 10-week curriculum that at some point throughout the year the fifth graders receive, depending on when it's scheduled with their schools. And that's a curriculum that focuses on building skills that they need so that, you know, when they are faced with risky behaviors in the future, like drugs or really any other risky behaviors, they have the skills that they need to make better choices. So that it focuses on things like goal setting, learning how to be a good communicator, making good decisions, and ties everything together so that they understand, you know, I don't want to be drinking alcohol as a teenager because I have this goal that I want to achieve and that doesn't line up with my goals. And so it's a really great comprehensive curriculum. And then along with that, we also have a curriculum called Too Good for Violence that is a sister program to Too Good for Drugs, and both were put together by the Mendez Foundation. They're evidence-based. And this year, we have started teaching a curriculum called Botvin Life Skills Training, and it kind of encompasses a lot of what Too Good for Drugs and Too Good for Violence teach, and it does it in a good comprehensive format, making sure that we're increasing the kids' protective factors so that they're able to make healthy choices. So.
And I want to go back because I remember when I was in school, the don't do drugs message was dare to
Right,
keep kids
right,
off drugs was
right.
the big thing, and it basically was like don't do it.
Right.
Just that was it.
Right.
But you guys really with these programs have taken the proactive approach
Right.
of saying you can't just say that to a
Right,
kid.
right.
One, because most of the time it doesn't work, but also they really need these skills, not just to prevent them from getting involved in drugs, but to prepare them for life.
Yes.
They need all of these skills to do that.
Yes. Anytime I teach in a classroom, I always tell the kids, these are skills that I need too. And I learn when I'm teaching you that, you know, that this is something that I need to be working on or do better at. So don't, you know, I never want the kids to hear, or even the parents to hear, the name drugs in the title and think, well, my child doesn't need that. They're not going to do drugs. There's so many skills that all of us need that we can benefit from with those programs. So.
And my understanding, and first of all, you're absolutely right. The just don't do
Don't do
something.
it.
Yeah.
That's like a challenge for a
Yes.
child, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
they don't
Why
want me to do it?
Yeah.
Now I'm interested.
Yes.
Now I'm interested.
We're in the why stage.
Yeah.
In my head. I was like, but why?
But talk to us about why it's so important, because I think a lot of our viewers, maybe viewers that don't have children or maybe they're grown, but they're like fifth grade, that seems so early.
Right.
But it's really not.
Right. So the research is actually showing that by third grade, children are starting to view alcohol as something that is used for fun, rather than just something that is for adults. There's something about that age that their perspective changes, and they start, I don't know if they're paying more attention to commercials at that point or what, but if you pay attention to advertising, and it's everywhere, they are targeting kids. And, you know, so we need to make sure that we're not just sweeping these things under the rug. We don't have to, you know, constantly be beating them over the head with risks of using these substances, but we do need to have open conversations so that they're comfortable asking questions and so that they do know what the risks are and why they want to avoid using those substances. They need to know that it's not just fun.
And we, most of the times when we have programs on here, we'll say, oh, to get involved in the program, call. But if your child is in school and is in 5th grade, good news. They're already signed up for it. You're reaching every single 5th grader.
Yes. So we do, with our sister programs, Too Good for Violence and Botman Life Skills Training, you can contact your child's school, the guidance counselor, the principal, or even whoever the team leader is of their grade level to find out if they're receiving any of, they should have received a letter home if they're receiving it. But if there's a parent that's thinking, why doesn't my child have that, then contact your school, because the school knows who their prevention specialist is, and we can work with them to get that started.
And, we have to give full credit to the school board because obviously we're on their channel, and we're very thankful for that, but they've also allowed New Horizons for, you've been doing this program for multiple years in our school system, so a big thanks to the school system for realizing how important this is. So I'm curious, and I know we're going to talk about some other stuff, but vaping is huge right now.
Yes.
So do you find that comes up a lot? I know the strategy around Too Good for Drugs isn't necessarily to talk about individual drugs or alcohol, but to talk about the importance of positive alternatives.
We do, at the end of the curriculum, we talk about, in 5th grade, we talk about alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana. So Too Good for Drugs doesn't have anything within the lesson, the tobacco lesson, about vaping, but we've used evidence-based resources that have been approved by the school district to provide as needed to the students, and from any information that they want, and to the schools as well, so that they know what to teach the students if we're not available at the time. So when the questions are coming up.
Scary that that trend has come up faster than our curriculums could implement them.
I know. It's so scary. And just at the rate of the damage that is happening to kids just so quickly. And I remember even a few years ago when I started with the program, that was when vaping was becoming popular. And kids were like, well, this is a safe alternative to it.
Right.
No, we just don't have the research to show why it's not safe or how it's not safe. And a lot of times people that are vaping, or at least for a while, they started with tobacco. So, it's hard to say what is causing what damage. But now that we're seeing teens having, severe consequences as a result of vaping, we're seeing exactly what's happening.
So you have kind of two components. You have the Too Good for Drugs and then Too Good for Violence. So can you kind of talk about what happens in that part of the curriculum?
Yes. So Too Good for Violence is still focused on skill building, but it's focused more on the interpersonal relationships. So learning how to understand each other. There's still, pieces about communication and setting goals and things of that nature, but more on handling your emotions, handling your anger, and then toward the end of the curriculum, we even hit on bullying and how to handle that in the schools, or just even in day-to-day life outside of school, because we know it's happening everywhere. So
I think it's so important, and really I think you guys kind of pulled Too Good for Violence in as a result of some of the things that you were seeing that Too Good for Drugs didn't really hit. And I know from conversations with school personnel, that transition to middle school is rough.
Yes.
And so the 5th graders, some I know specifically from talks with Marianne Warren, who's one of the prevention specialists, there have been 6th grade teachers that have asked her to bring it back to them after they come back to school and start 6th grade, because it's so important to kind of give them those reminders about how to be nice to everybody. And you don't know what a person is dealing with. So I know bullying is a big topic.
Yes.
Not just in 5th grade, now earlier than even. But you guys have some good tips, and I know your boss, John Pulley, had some stuff that he wanted to share. He wouldn't come on the show and share it with us, but he did talk about this new app that's really
Yes.
beneficial for parents. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration. I knew I was going to say that wrong, but they created an app called No Bullying, and it's KNOW, not NO, and that is important. So it's a free app, and I believe it's available for iPhone, Android, any of those providers. And I actually downloaded it recently. I didn't have it because my kids are young. And when I downloaded it to look over it, I realized that there's actually resources for kids as young as mine on the app.
Wow.
But the point of the app is to teach parents how to handle what their kids are going through. So it teaches them how to talk to their kids, and even like when I pulled up the app, it said the research is showing that just 15 minutes a day of sitting down and talking to your kids is really opening doors to communication. And I thought, that's something that this app needs to say, so that parents are setting aside that time, because you get so busy every day that you may not be sitting down and having those good, solid conversations. But then it even includes tips on, what to say to your kids about bullying, or just to have a conversation with them about their day. Because I'm sure you said your kids are older, Sean, so I'm sure you get the, how was your day? Good.
Right.
Right?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of tips on open-ended questions, or just statements that you can say that might open the door to more feedback from them besides just, yeah, it was good.
I liked lunch.
Yeah. And then besides that, it's, there's tips on strategies on, what you can work on with your child. Some of the strategies that we teach are specifically to be a good communicator, teaching kids to be confident even if they don't feel like they are, to be assertive in their communication style even if that's not how they feel on the inside, making sure that they remember that there's safety in numbers, and then too, the curriculum even hits on the fact that, sometimes there are things that the bullying is, or the person that is bullying you is going through, and they just need you to talk to an adult so that the adult can get them the help that they need. Sometimes it's a cry for help. So.
And Ashley, I know you and I have talked about it, like our personal family situations. A child normally doesn't come to you and says, I'm being bullied.
Right.
You're going to see that behavior or that causal effect in something else. It might be, they feel sick all the time, or
Yes.
maybe they're not hungry, or, and it's really up to us as parents and grandparents to have that communication and that dialogue to kind of
Yes.
parse through what's really happening.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Especially if your kid is saying that they're sick to their stomach every day, that's probably nerves about something that's going on. So do some digging. And it should, if your kid's not talking to you about things that are going on during the day, don't start with the heavy stuff. Are you being bullied? Just start, having a conversation with them. What do you feel like? What's going on? Or, talk about things that they like, so that they're, they loosen up, they put that guard down, and then they feel a little more comfortable having the heavier conversations.
I found too, I've talked on the show before about the challenges that we have with my kids. My kids have a lot of trauma from their foster care history. It's not always me that they want to talk to, and that's okay.
Yes.
And we have recently moved into a new neighborhood where there is a lot of young parents around, and my oldest daughter has found a very close friend in one of our neighbors, and I'm good with that.
Yes.
Because as long as I know that she's talking to someone,
Yes.
that's okay. And I think that's important too. One of the other things that I think is important of having a conversation about is what bullying is and what it is not.
Yes, and that is included in the app.
Yes. It's really helpful information, because I think we throw that word around so
Yes.
often now to our kids that everything to them could be bullying. So really making that clear definition about
Yes.
what it is and what it isn't
Yes.
is really important.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think sometimes parents and teachers get a little desensitized to the word. So, you don't even have to use the word bullying, but just, this is going on, this is what's happening. And you don't have to teach them to identify a situation as a bullying situation, just helping them know how to work through these types of problems. So,
Well, and to your point, regardless if it's bullying or whatever it is, just having that relationship, having
Yes.
that conversation
Yes.
every single day,
Yes.
it's something to reinforce. And the more you have it, the more natural it becomes, and
Yes.
the bond strengthens, and they're going to start talking to you about
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
Be warned, but they're going to start talking to you about everything, which is good.
Yes.
Well, and it does sort of reemphasize, we've had this conversation, our Parent Teen Community Connection program did some research a few years ago about, really sticky, tricky topics. And the results of the survey said that the kids wanted their parents to be the ones talking to them about it. So, being able to open that conversation and have that dialogue before they get to the really hard stuff
Right.
is really important.
And it's such a good tip to not lead with the heavy stuff,
Yes.
because if you do that too often, the child's going to be like,
I'm good.
yeah, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm all
Can
set,
I just
lady.
get some dinner?
Yeah.
Real quick, so, and I know we got a couple minutes left. You obviously are reaching every fifth grader in a
Yes.
classroom setting, but if
Yes.
somebody is listening and maybe has additional questions or concern about their child, or maybe they're even in a crisis, do you offer services on an individual one-on-one basis?
So with prevention, we do sometimes work one-on-one with students that have an increased number of risk factors. So they aren't necessarily engaging in substance use, or they're not necessarily dealing with depression, but there are signs that they're headed that direction. So we can work one-on-one with those students. But if they're not a fit for our program because they are in need of more intensive services, we have resources and can link the students to those resources. So whether it's within New Horizons or even outside of New Horizons, just because we're with New Horizons doesn't mean we only link people there. We just want the kids to get help where they want it and where they need it. So
That's great. So,
Very good.
what is the phone number? It's been flashing on the screen. We'll post it on our Facebook page. I apologize.
but
Most people don't memorize their own
Their
phone
own
number. I
number.
understand that.
But
our
I do
office
think
number, there it is.
Oh,
It's for our radio listeners. It's 772-293-0288.
but I do think one of the most important things that you said is that every school has a counselor,
Yes.
a social worker, a prevention specialist
Yes.
that's working within that school. So if you do have questions, school is a great place to start.
And we're in the K through 8 schools, the elementary schools, and all of the middle schools except Southern Oaks.
Perfect.
So any of those schools has a prevention specialist assigned, and you can always reach out to me if you're not sure who it is, or I think my email address is popped
It
on the
is.
screen a few times.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming,
Yeah,
Casey. Well,
thanks for
one day
having
we'll
me.
get John to come, but
I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah.
Don't hold your breath.
Just so you know, we had a bet. We have like 30 seconds left on the show.
How many times?
We could bring up John Poley, who is the one that manages this
Challenging,
program,
right.
but not super comfortable being on radio TV. And we certainly don't want to bully him to be on.
No.
But we are grateful that you came
Thank
on.
you for having
Thank
me.
And you did
so
John
much.
proud. John totally owes you one. All right, folks, we're winding down. A reminder that this program and many of the programs that we talk about, again, are available on our website at cscslc.org. Or if you're old school, we'll come and bring this paper guide to you. No problem at that. Just call 408-1100, and we'll bring them out to you. Thanks for coming on again.
Thanks for
you.
having me.
Thanks for not laughing through that part.
great, you're welcome.
Remember, it's our children, our community, our future. We'll be back next week because we're all in this together. We'll see you next time.